Good morning, everyone. I am Sujata, Kasturba Gandhi Junior College for Women, West Maridpalli, Secunderabad. Subject Civics, Political Science. Today I am going to discuss about the chapter Organs of Government. So, as we are discussing about the organs of government, first let us know what is the government. The government is the agency through which the will of the state is formulated, expressed, and realized. It is the ruling and managing body. So, as state is abstract in nature, that means we cannot see the state. We can see the state only through the government. The aims of the state can be fulfilled through the agent of the government. Hence, government is the agency through which the will of the state is formulated, expressed, and realized. It is the ruling and managing body. Government is the agent of the state. What is a government? How it forms? All the persons in a state cannot be in the ruling body to express the will of the state or to carry the administration of the state. So, all the persons in the state cannot be in the ruling body to express the will of the state. Only some of the persons are entrusted with the work of action for on behalf of the state, which means in the state the population is divided into two, ruled and rurals. Rurals are means the people whom are chosen by the ruled. Ruled are many, like normal common people. So these are ruled by the rurals, and those rurals are elected by the people. They entrusted with the work of action for on behalf of the state. These persons form the machinery of the government. A state cannot function without the governmental machinery. What are the kinds of government? Government, there are different kinds of governments like despotic, democratic, monarchic, republican, militaristic, etc. The modern governments are highly organized. A modern government is conveniently composed of three organs, that is, legislature, executive, judiciary. What are they? What is it? Let me discuss. The first organ of the government is legislature. Legislature is a supreme authority in a democratic system. It has vast legislative powers. Supreme authority, it is a supreme authority in democratic system. So legislatures are meant for expressing the public opinion, which represents the public opinion. Okay, so that's why it is the supreme authority. It has vast legislative powers. So that means what is the main function of the legislature is to formulation of the laws or enact the laws. The second organ, executive. Executive is the most important organ of the government. It has real governmental powers. It is consist of head of the state, council of ministers, and officials, and all those who assist them under the preview of the government. Third organ, judiciary. It is the third branch of the government. What is the duty or function of the judiciary is impartial. It is like a impartial attributor in the settlement of disputes between government and the people, among the governments, among the people, government and the people. Yes, the disputes may arise between the government and the people in making the decisions in administration, etc. Then among the governments means it may be in the federation we can observe between the provincial governments or between the central government and the states governments like. Then among the people. So these disputes are settled by the judiciary. So what is the definition of the state? Sorry, definition of the government. Gettill defined government as it consists of group of organs with the differentiate functions but with a common task and purpose and their harmonious cooperation essential to success. Government is a group of organs. What are the group of organs? Legislature, executive and judiciary with the differentiate functions. Each organ has its own function. Legislature is formulates the laws, executive is implement them, judiciary is interprets them. Okay, so government is consist of group of organs with the differentiate functions, but they work for common task and purpose. What is the task and purpose of the government? Organs of government is to carry the administration, development of the nation, fulfillment of the objectives of the and aims of the state. At the same time, though powers are and functions are divided among the three organs of the government, but their harmonious cooperation is very, very important. Then only government can be success. So this is defined by Gettill. Now, as we discussed, government consists of group of organs with the differentiate functions. Yes, legislature is formulating the laws, executive is implementing them, judiciary is interpreting them. Okay, how these powers are divided? Is there any theory? Which theory and which based on which theory the powers are or functions of the government is divided among the organs of government. So here we have to discuss about theory of separation of powers. This is the basis for differentiative functions among the organs of government. What is the theory of separation of powers? Who explained it? What it explains? Montesquieu, a French political thinker, is the main proponent the theory of separation of powers. Montesquieu explained his theory in his famous writing The Spirit of Laws, published in 1748. He visited England and made a comparative study of French despotism and British parliamentary democracy. He came to the conclusion that Britishers enjoyed greater liberty because of separation of powers among the three organs of government. Montesquieu stated that concentration of powers in one person or body of persons would result despotism and negate individual liberty. Hence, he suggested separation of powers among the three organs of the government in a balanced manner. Each organ will check the misuse of powers of the other organs. So then only individual enjoy their liberty and they are free from the interference of the government. Now let us see the first organ of the government is legislature. What is legislature? Legislature is the first branch of the government. It plays a significant role in legislative, administrative, financial, and political affairs of the state. It represents the will of the state. It serves as the supreme lawmaking organ in the state. So, by making laws, it gives a concrete sovereign power to the state. It consists of members either directly or indirectly elected by electorate at regular intervals. So legislature consists of members. So these members are either directly or indirectly. That means there are two methods to electing the members of the legislature, that is direct and indirect. Later we will discuss it. So elected by electorate. Who are called electorate? Electorates are nothing but voters. They elect the members of the legislature at regular intervals. That means that there is a particular tenure of the legislatures. Okay. Next, origin. The word legislature, most commonly known as parliament. Originally it meant for talking place. So you can see the legislatures. What it happens, they express the public opinion, the various discussions, thoughts, deliberations will be takes place. So they'll discuss how to formulate the laws, how to carry the administration, the various grievances of the public, etc. So it is meant for a talking place. So the word parliament is origin from the Latin word parlel and a French word parlamentum, which means to speak. The legislature in the democratic system provide equilibrium of thoughts, discussions and different opinions. Now here we will discuss that the members of the legislature either directly or indirectly elected by electorate. So what are the methods in electing the members of the legislature or representatives of the legislature? Here methods of representation. The methods of representation to the people in the legislatures varies from country to country. There are two important methods are in value. One is territorial representation. What is a territorial representation? So in this method, the country is divided into geographical constituencies. The people of the respective constituency elect their representatives to the legislatures. Second one, proportional representation. Representation is provided to all sections in the state. It is called proportional representation. So country like India, which comprises with the different languages, different sections, different communities, different languages, different very big, very huge place. So equal representation is very, very important. So as we said, equilibrium of thoughts. How the representation will be provided? If you provide representation to all the sections, then only proper will of the people will be expressed by the elected members. So by this method, it provide representation to all the sections in the legislature. By and large, throughout the world, territorial representation is in value. Organization of legislatures. Legislatures are organized under two systems. One is unicameralism. What is unicameralism? If the legislature consists of single house, it is known as unicameralism. Example, Bangladesh, China, Turkey, Portugal, etc. Secondly, bicameralism. If the legislature consists of two houses, it is known as bicameral legislature. It is largely adopted. Example, USA, England and India, Switzerland also one of the best example. Now let us see the structure of the legislatures. Structure of the bicameral legislatures. Here I have taken the three countries, the name of the country, name of the upper house, name of the lower house, name of the legislature. England. Name of the upper house is House of Lords. Name of the lower house is a House of Commons. Name of the legislature is Parliament. USA. Name of the upper house is Senate. Name of the lower house is House of Representatives. Name of the legislature is Congress. Name of the country, India. Name of the upper house is Rajya Sabha. Name of the lower house, Lok Sabha. Name of the legislature is Indian Parliament. Now let us see upper house. What are how the members of structure of the upper house, how it will members are elected, what are the methods, etc. The structure of the upper house varies from country to country. The principles generally followed to form the upper house is different in different countries. Then what are the methods? What are the principles to be followed to form the upper house? One is hereditary method. In some of the countries, the membership of the upper house is hereditary. England, example, England. In some countries, the membership of the upper house are appointed or nominated by the executive for a specific period. Example, Canada, India. Third principle is, in some countries, the membership of the upper house, the members are elected by the people. Example, lower house. See, in India, Lok Sabha, the members of the lower house, that is Lok Sabha, is members are elected by the people directly. Next, fourth principle is, in some countries, the members of the upper house are indirectly elected. The same thing we can observe in India, that is upper house, Rajya Sabha. Indirect, those members are elected indirectly. Fifth principle. In the federal states, the members of the upper house are elected from the component states. These members represent respective states in the central government. Now let us see the structure of the lower house. The structure of the lower house is similar in almost all the countries. The people directly elect the members of the lower house through universal franchise. What is a universal franchise? In the state, people who are completed certain age limit, those who crossed certain age limit, they are called as adults or voters. These adults are voters without any discrimination will have the right to vote. Those electorate, they are also called as electorate. They elect the members of the lower house directly. As these people are members of the lower house, are elected by the people directly, so they are given a great prominence. Now let's see the structure of the lower house. Here again I have taken the three countries. Name of the country, England. Name of the lower house, House of Commons. The total strength of the House of Commons is 630. The tenure is 5 years. Before the tenure, they can be dissolved before the tenure. That means before 5 years they can dissolve from the house. Okay, why? Because it is, see, you can observe here England and India. Those members can be removed before the tenure through dissolution method, which because of forms of government. So England and India, we follow parliamentary form of government. So in the parliamentary form of government, it depends on the majority and confidence of the legislature, so that they can be removed. Then minimum age of contesting election is 21 years. In USA, name of the lower house is House of Representatives. The strength of the Total number of the house is 438. The tenure is 2 years. They cannot dissolve before the tenure because it is a presidential government. Minimum age of contesting in election is 25 years. India. Name of the lower house, Lok Sabha. The total strength is 543. The tenure of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. Before the tenure, they can dissolve. Minimum age in contesting the election is 25 years. Now, let us here we are going to discuss about bicameralism. What is bicameralism? In simple terms, bicameralism means it is consist of two houses. It is well established political and constitutional tradition to have legislature chambers, that is to have two legislative chambers. Because such a system ensures a wider and efficient representation of the cross section of the society. So we can see the bicameral legislatures, we can observe bicameral legislature from 18th century. Here we are going to discuss about advantages and disadvantages of bicameralism. Now what are the advantages of bicameralism? Who were supported it? Political scientists like J.S. Mill, Lord Bryce, Henry Maine supported bicameral legislature. Why? What were the reasons? Checks hasty legislation. The second chamber can check the hasty and inconsiderable legislation of the first chamber. So usually the upper chamber uh, comprises with all the eminent persons, elderly persons. Those are very experts. Then vast legislative, administrative experience and all. So such a people can check the hasty and inconsiderable legislation of the first chamber, so that with very the good and the best decisions can be formulated. Second one, it relieves legislative burden. When the second chamber is set up, bills can be introduced in either house. By doing it so, it saves the time of the first chamber and promotes legislative efficiency. Third one, representation to eminent persons. As I said, upper chamber is comprises with the eminent persons, highly efficient, vast experienced. So such a people hesitate to face a direct election. Why? Because it involves lot of expenditure and dirty politics. Such a persons can accommodated in the second chamber. So that bicameral legislature has many advantages. Now let us see disadvantages. Political scientists like Lasky, Benjamin Franklin, Bentham, they against bicameral legislature. Why? They say one house is sufficient to express public opinion, as legislatures are meant for expressing public opinion, deliberations, discussions. They say one house is sufficient to express the public opinion. Second one, bicameral legislature is highly expensive. Why? Because it incurs heavy expenditure in the form of salaries and allowances to the members and maintenance of records and legislative personals. Third one, undemocratic. It does not consist of members directly elected by the people. So normally it fails to represent the interest of the people. So as we discussed in the just before, I said The members of the Rajya Sabha in India is indirectly elected. So as indirectly elected means they don't have direct contact between people and the members of the upper house. So normally they fail to represent the interest of the people. Now let us discuss the functions of legislature. The functions of the legislature are an increasing in recent decades due to the tremendous growth of a population and complexity of legislative business. It also influenced political, social and economical conditions of state. So, as in the introduction, we were discussed about the main function of the legislature is to enact the laws. So, but apart from that, it has vast powers. It has many powers and functions. What are they? First one, lawmaking. So, lawmaking is the primary function of the legislature. It can make laws, amend the existing laws. So, it can formulation of the laws or enactment of the laws is the primary function of the legislature. So, not only that, it can amend the existing laws. So, already existing laws which are in practice can amend according to the necessity. At the same time, it also can cancel the laws which are outdated, keeping in view the needs and desires of the people. Next, control over executive. Legislature exercises control over the executive. In a parliamentary system, the executive is responsible to the legislature and responsive for its policies and programs of the people. In a parliamentary system, there is a relationship between legislature and the executive. So the executive means the prime minister and the council of ministers. So this executive is responsible to the legislature and responsive to its policies and the programs of the people. So in this regard, legislature asks questions and supplementary questions. It is their responsibility to give a reply to such questions. Not only that, the legislative members are empowered to move no confidence motion to remove party in power in such a situation is arises. The minister, hence we can understand here in the parliamentary form of government, the ministers, that is council of minister headed by the prime minister, will continues in office as long as enjoys the confidence of majority legislatures in lower house. Financial functions. Legislature can sanction money required by government for carrying on the routine administration. So, in carrying the routine administration of the state, the government requires money. For example, in implementing of various welfare programs, development of the nations, routine administration. So that money which is required by the government must be approval by the legislatures. So not only that, it also the legislature approval is necessary for the imposing and collecting taxes. So the state government from where it gets money by imposing taxes and collecting them. Okay, that is the way of income the state gets, the government gets. So, but without approval of the legislatures, government, that is executive, cannot impose the taxes and collect the taxes. So, at the same time, revising and repealing the existing tax. That means no finance cannot be used by the government without sanctioning by the legislatures. So it adopts the budget and other financial reports presented by the executive. Hence, legislatures act as the custodian of a people's exchequer. Judicial functions. Normally, the upper chamber in the legislatures perform certain judicial functions. Example, the House of Lords in England, Senate in USA. They act as highest court of justice for impeaching executive heads like President of USA and members of the House of Lords in England. They are act as a highest court of justice. Next, in India, either House of the Parliament can initiate inquiry into specific allegations leveled against the President, and judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court are removed by the Parliament. Next, electoral functions. In many states, legislature elect the members of the executive and the union parliament. So apart from the law making, so legislature performs various functions. So electoral functions. What are the electoral functions of the legislature? First, Indian president is elected by both houses of the members of the parliament and members of the various legislative assemblies. All the state legislative assemblies will form an electoral college and they elect the president of India. At the same time, vice president of India is elected by both houses of the parliament. Coming to USA, House of Representatives decides the election of a president in case of no candidate secures absolute majority. Next, constitutional functions of the legislature. Exclusive powers of amending the constitution. What is the constitutional functions? Exclusive powers of amending the constitutions. While discussing the law making, there we mentioned that legislature, the primary function of the legislature to enact the laws. Not only that, it amending the existing laws. Amending the existing laws means constitutional validity. It is called constitutional means legislature has the power to amend the constitution according to the need and necessity. Okay, so which is called as only legislature has such a power to amend the constitution. So here we have to discuss in two ways how legislature has the power to amend the constitutions. When there is no written constitution, when there is no written constitution, it can make both constitutional and ordinary laws. Example, England. Then secondly, when state possesses a written rigid constitution. Written means when the constitution is in written form, it is very difficult to amend. That means amendments means here changing. So when it is written, constitution is in written form, it is always in rigid method. So when the state possesses a written and a rigid constitution, then legislature adopts different methods for amending the constitutional laws. So what are the different methods? We can observe rigid method and flexible method. Rigid means difficult to amend the constitutional law. Flexible means easy to bring changes in the constitution. So this is called constitutional functions of the legislature. Next, there are other functions also performed by the legislature. It safeguards the privileges of the legislators. Yes, the elected members of the legislature have some special privileges compared to the common citizen. So those privileges are safeguarded by the legislatures. It also orders inquiry into specific matters of public importance. The next topic is declining in the importance of the legislature. So here legislature has supreme authority in a democratic system, which representing the majority will of the people. It is equilibrium of thoughts, discussions, deliberations, etc. So while listening that, so we think there is a much value and importance to the legislatures. But in practice, and nowadays, as days are changing, the importance of the legislature is declining due to various reasons. In the modern democratic system, the powers of the legislatures are declining gradually. In the 19th century, the importance of legislature was felt due to the influence of individualism and the concept of popular sovereignty. But in the 19th century, as conditions changed radically, modern legislatures have become ornamental and customary. What were the factors for declining in the importance of legislatures? The first factor is the executive constitutionally acquired more powers. Executive means government, which has real governmental powers. So automatically government has vast and constitutional powers. Definitely executive has more significant than the legislatures. That is the first factor. The second one is the spread of welfare state ideology, which it is very important factor that the spread of welfare state ideology. This reduced in the influence of legislature because of the crucial role that the executive actually plays in practice. The present all the states are welfare state. Okay, the government has to plan for so many welfare programs, schemes, plans in helping the needy, poor. Okay, and not only that, employment wise, poverty wise. Okay, so as that the welfare state ideology has given more prominent by the executives. So normally executives have more importance or significance than the legislature. Yes, third one is we can also observe there are various reasons for declining the importance of the legislature. That is, problems like population growth, unemployment, poverty, economic inequalities, concentration of economic power, they are all are compelled the legislature to delegate many powers to the executive. Lastly, the conclusion. Let me conclude the chapter lesson. The successful functioning of the legislature depends largely in its ability to scrutinize the political and administrative actions of the executive. Thank you.